philosophy I have with men. When we're younger, we think we have to fight to impress women. And then as you get older, you impress women by not fighting. And I think that's the same with the NFL.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Usually it's about respect. More than
but
just
you know, when you get older, now older women don't want to see fights.
Yeah.
They just want you to be nice to them, and you know, fighting is unnecessary. Okay.
Alrighty.
So am I on here for real? Can you hear me? Okay.
Let's see. Can you hear us?
Come on, folks.
I hear something over here. So
Come
something's
on,
going
folks.
on.
All right.
Look at our engineer over here. You're gonna be the MVP today.
Oh God.
All right, we back.
All right.
Broder?
Let's see. It
All
looks
right.
like people can hear us.
Now, as I was saying, and nobody heard me, I want to bring in a new segment. Well, it's not a new segment. It's a segment we've had on this show before. And I want to start off with it.
Yeah, okay, talk to
Ready?
me. Yes.
Optimistic, pessimistic.
No.
Just joking.
Funny, T-Foss. That's old Woodward in Maine
Yes.
segment with the one
We
gadget.
are first to the whistle. Tweet.
Tweet.
Do you know how to whistle?
I do. Not like the...
I don't know how to do this.
No. I can do it.
Me neither.
Right.
Yeah, but not the... You know, people at the games or concerts, the artist comes out, they're whistling loud. I can't do that.
Well,
I've tried.
I learned how to whistle because I had birds. So if you have a bird, you got to whistle.
You just have bird, like you own birds in your house, or you
I had a parrot. No, I had 2 parrots,
Awesome.
a couple parakeets, and then I had a cockatiel, Poopsie,
Okay.
who is 32 years old.
Oh, that's awesome.
Why?
Why?
Do you like birds? Did your fam like?
They
Why do you
all
have so many birds?
They wouldn't let me have a dog because I wouldn't take care of it.
Fair.
Now I have a wife who doesn't like dogs.
Really?
I want a dog.
It's a little buddy you have every single day.
Having a dog is like out of this world beautiful, man, in so many ways. But have someone that loves you just for you and don't want anything but your attention, and it's the fun. It's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it. But
Right.
you are
Nothing like
restricted when you want to go on a vacation, go visit your kids, go out to an anniversary dinner last night with the wifey. You have to have a dog sitter
Do
or
you know we have?
I get that.
We have doggy hotels
Dude,
where I
that's
live.
smart.
So I don't have to worry about that.
they have those out near where you live, don't they? I've driven
that's
by a
smart.
few.
Put them in a Marriott and
Yeah.
chill out.
Do you think the
Anyway-
NFL put Brian Branch in a dog hotel? One game suspension.
No. He
we'll
stuck
get
to
it.
his man's room. But the segment seriously that we used to have that I like was having beers with somebody.
Yes.
You would have. Who would you like to have a beer after the previous Lions game?
Dan Campbell.
Mine is Brian Branch.
Okay.
I would like to know, and the reason we talk about having beers is because when you have beers or shots or something, it's like truth serum. So
That's
then
where you get them
you're
talking.
You're going to get the nitty gritty. Y'all just talking. So I want Brian Branch.
What would you ask him? Because Branch has been in the headlines the last week due to his antics during the
Will
game.
not play Monday.
He will not play Monday, and that's a big game, a big moment. The rest of the secondary is depleted. Great kid off the field, great player on the field, but these things are starting to add up, and it seems like he's starting to get a reputation, whether he deserves it or not.
Well,
are
and
you
the
talking?
NFL comes out and does basically a smear campaign. on
Yeah,
him.
voiced by Louis
Yeah.
Riddick.
Right.
Pretty much.
It was a rough day for Brian Branch. Blah blah blah. Here's, he got tricked. He got basketballed, and all kinds of stuff. So to me, I think the NFL feels guilty about what happened against the Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs, and so that
As
they
they
know,
should.
They know they're getting blasted for the Jared Goff play. They know they're getting blasted because Patrick Mahomes was taunting. And I know some people, well, so what? He's taunting and blah. But the NFL has really cracked down on taunting this year.
They have.
I mean, if you step over somebody, flag.
Jack Campbell, I think, got one for was it Jack or Terrion? Someone looking back at a player that they just tackled out of bounds.
That is viewed as taunting too.
Yeah.
But you got Patrick Mahomes chirping, Patrick Mahomes doing his little stuff, and doesn't get called.
Right.
Now,
fine.
I don't like to tap myself on the back, but last week we talked about there's going to be something shady because the NFL does not want Kansas City to go 2-4.
Yeah.
And
tap,
you
tap
talked
it in.
about, well, is it going to be some penalties? I said, no, it will be the penalties that are not called.
You nailed it.
That is going to, that the NFL is going to implement.
Yeah. And ironically, the Jared Goff touchdown catch taken back 75 seconds later by the NFL in New York, that was still a penalty that was not called. It was not called.
Right. The NFL said we didn't call.
Yeah. But one of the referees on the field told Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, yeah, I did call it. He came from upstairs.
So they got caught in a lie. But what my grandmother used to say is they got their hands caught in the cookie jar.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
So there's some shaky stuff going on here. And if you think the NFL or any other league is 100% completely above board, you're crazy.
You're crazy.
Right.
The integrity just keeps dripping out of the barrel of the NFL every day that they get in bed more with the sports books, which is actually part of the problem here with how they're operating, changing the betting, changing the amount.
I can give you a real life thing that happens. I used to vote in things, and for MVP,
okay,
most valuable offensive player, most
defensive
player. Now, if somebody, let's say they get 66 of 67 votes, they will call the writer that did not give him the MVP vote and ask, could you change your vote so to be anonymous?
Oh, yeah.
Or anonymous.
Not ask, hey, why?
Right.
They'll say, hey, change your vote?
Yeah, they'll ask you to change your vote so it's like they can, because they love to say, well, everybody thought this guy was MVP. They don't like releasing 67 or 68.
Because you know what people who read that are going to say, well, who was the one that didn't vote?
Right.
And why? Who's the one juror who decided not to convict the man? M-U-R-D-E.
That's the person we want to know.
R. Yeah. Yeah.
So leagues don't want to deal with that. So they'll call you up, say, Matt, everybody voted Patrick Mahomes as MVP.
Yeah.
You voted Jared Goff. Could you please change your vote?
Yeah, please. Side note, have you ever gotten one of those calls? Were you ever in the minority?
I never got it, but I know Drew Boudini Sharp, who I covered the NBA with, he got the call twice.
Yeah. Do you remember what award it was?
MVP, NBA, and I think it was I don't know who it was.
Somebody. He had a different opinion
Correct.
than everyone else. It's one of those things. Actually, Steve O'Baby asked the question, would this all be a lot different if the Lions didn't have any penalties in the game? People wouldn't be saying that about the NFL. So the compounding of these things that you just mentioned, and looking back at the game, a week before the Chiefs had 13 penalties in their game. So in all season, they've had several penalties. This game, they had 0.
Yeah, how do you have 0 penalties in an NFL game?
I don't know. Compared to, was it 8 or 11 for the Lions? Lions did decline 1 or 2 of their penalties, and offsides, a holding, 2 calls that make no difference in the game. So I still think it's fair. Seemed a little lopsided. For me, I don't really care about not giving Patrick Mahomes a taunting penalty, but because I realize in every sport, Michael Jordan is going to have games called differently than other players. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, I get that he's viewed a little different, but you have to be consistent. Whether you're putting out, NFL Films is putting out hit pieces on Brian Branch, or the NFL is fining certain people for taunting, or Alex Anzalone and Tracy, they're getting fined for these BS plays that happen throughout the game. If you're going to do that to those players, you got to do it to Patrick Mahomes too.
You
or
do,
nobody.
But I tell you what, I get if somebody taps Patrick Mahomes really light and they call it roughing the passer because you're trying to protect him.
Okay.
Because he is
good point.
one of the faces of the NFL. You want him to play. So I get that. I don't get how he can taunt like other people do and you don't call anything because you're not protecting him.
That's a good point. You're shielding him.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
But you need to at some point treat superstars normal.
Yeah. And that sounds like that. You actually make a really good point. That's the time to treat them normal. Okay, you're a superstar. Don't taunt these players as soon as you score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. We're looking out for you. We're trying to protect you. Don't do that stuff, and we'll continue to call the ticky-tack roughing the passer penalties, which the one called on Aiden Hutchinson was not. That was a roughing the passer penalty. That was a penalty.
That's brain fart.
It was.
On Aiden Hutchinson's part.
It was. And Steve O'Baby follows up with another good point that leads into a question I want to ask you. He says, you know what Dan Campbell would say in times like this? Move on. We lost that game plain and simple. And I agree. Like, I want to ask if you're impressed with Lions fans after this last week, because to me, it doesn't seem like anybody is really making an excuse for them getting beat. The Chiefs beat them. The Chiefs took it to them. What we're passionate about, complaining about, arguing about is all these other antics by the NFL, the behaviors by Brian Branch, what caused them, what are the results. But it seems like Lions fans aren't making excuses for the team. It's like, all right, whatever, we're 4-2.
Well, they're not making excuses, but they're still bitching about it. I'm bitching about it.
I know what I'm saying. That's fine. Bitch about it.
Am I impressed? No.
But they're not, the sky is falling on this team. It's not, this team's not going to win the NFC North anymore. Man, okay, they got beat. These calls were bullshit. The NFL is bullshit. Lions need to play better.
Yeah, I guess how many times are you going to cry wolf? Because every time the Lions lost last year, which is an amazing 2 times, people bitched and complained and said this is it, blah, blah, blah. So
I don't feel that here. No. I don't feel the bitching like
maybe
it's
people
over.
Learn their lesson because you're going to lose games in the NFL season no matter who you are. So you accept it, you talk about it, you move on.
Yes. They got beat by Kansas City. Kansas City outplayed them. They couldn't stop Kansas City on offense. Mm-hmm. Spagnuolo and that defense, they were very good against the Lions. Just enough pressure on Goff. Yeah. There's a lot that the Lions need to clean up, but these issues that happened during the game, they're separate. But I want to ask about Brian Branch. Like you said, you're going to have a beer with him. What are you asking him? Because
I'm asking Brian Branch specifically, what does Juju Smith-Schuster say to you? Mm-hmm. When he hit you, what was the circumstance? Where did he hit you? How dangerous was the hit? So I'd like to know that. Mm-hmm. And is he pissed about being suspended this week? I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm upset about the whole thing is you like to, when you go into a game, and Tampa's the next game, and that's Monday, you like to go in with a fighting chance.
Yeah.
But when you have nobody in your secondary, who's going to be their best defensive back? Who's going to be the best safety tomorrow?
Well, it won't be a safety, but Amik Robertson, he's going to step up.
Okay.
Rock Ya-Sin. They signed some guys off.
Made a couple plays.
Yeah. They signed Kendall Fuller this week. I can't remember if he's been officially activated to the 53-man, but they signed him to the practice squad. He's a vet. Didn't play so well the last year, but had some decent years in Washington and whatnot. The secondary is depleted. So what needs to step up? What area of that defense needs to step up that may be getting some ammunition back?
Well,
a very big, heavy load.
With a big butt.
Wide load.
Alim McNeill.
The dude's back.
Alim McNeill makes a huge difference. And I think people ignore him. Or because he plays defensive tackle, that you don't really notice what he does. But this guy affects their defense. I've talked to him a few times. He says he likes to play aggressive. He likes to play violent, and he likes to get after the quarterbacks. But his main thing is to stop the run.
Yeah.
When you look at the Lions' run defense, a rush defense, it's a lot different when McNeill is in there than when he's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's decent when he's not in there, but when he's playing, he's 100%. That rush defense is borderline excellent.
Yeah. It's been great since he showed up. Not to say he's the only one contributing, but for these last few years, that's how this Lions team, that's how they run their defense, pun intended, again, stopping the run. And Alim is actually one of the better pass rushing defensive tackles, but whether he's rushing the quarterback or eating up 2 blocks, he's eating up 2 blocks to allow the linebackers to shoot through the gaps, to allow DJ Reader to make the tackle, or that big dude on the edge, Aiden Hutchinson.
Right.
Like,
now, with the secondary so depleted, normally I would say there's just no way the Lions can win this game against Tampa because Tampa's on a roll. They can't pass the ball. Baker Mayfield is an MVP candidate.
He sure
whether
is.
you want to admit it or not. But the other thing that I see that gives the Lions a chance in every game is the fact that injuries are not unique to the Detroit Lions. I mean, injuries have been a huge factor, I believe, this year and last year more than ever.
yeah, we've seen it up close and personal with Detroit, but you said Tampa has injuries. Their wide receiver group, they're beat up. The Chargers, look to the AFC. Chargers are one of my picks, not to win a Super Bowl, but to take another leap, maybe overtake the Chiefs in their division. But both their tackles are out for the year. Slater might be out for his career. These things happen. This game is getting bigger. It's getting faster, more physical. It hits everyone. So it's how you deal with those injuries, both day to day with the players you have, but also how this roster is created.
Right. And I think this is playing well for the Lions. It seems like this is a season where every team is going to have to deal with shit at some point in the season. Philadelphia, the Lions dealing with it early.
Yeah.
Maybe Kansas City dealt with it early. So maybe in December and January, you're not dealing with quote-unquote shit, and then you're going to be in a better position to win because we don't care about the regular season as much as the playoffs. That's where the Lions are going to make their bread and butter, what they do in the playoffs. And, in fact, it doesn't matter what they do in the regular season. There's always going to be some doubt about what they're going to be in the playoffs.
Right. Especially after last year.
Right.
The last 2
and
years.
this year's playoffs, let me make a little prediction. I don't think home field advantage is going to mean as much this year as it does other years.
Why?
It's going to be health field advantage. Health is going to play a role in what team can make a run through the playoffs. Health is going to play the role this year in who can make it to the Super Bowl. So if you're dealing with your shit now, then maybe, and I'm not saying maybe you don't have to deal with it later.
Right. You hope that, like, there's cycles to this. So you get it out of your system early. Just like all the injuries happen before the bye week. All the injuries happen before week 12. And then you start to get healthy with Terrion coming back. DJ Reed. Hopefully Kirby's healthy. Brian Branch he's got like a 3-week vacation now. So he should be able to get his body going. You're right. I think that's the only thing that kept this Lions team from moving on last year. They couldn't hang with those Commanders. They've learned how to deal with that now, but still comes down to personnel. And we're seeing them once again signing guys off the streets. I don't know how I feel about it, but I do
tell
know.
You what, if the Lions could have got 3 guys back on defense for the Commanders game, they would have won that game.
Yeah.
I think Jared Goff wouldn't have been as flighty or flaky as a quarterback.
Yeah.
He would have played a little bit more under control. I still believe this, that he felt he had to score 2 touchdowns every time they played. The offense got on the field.
Yeah.
And that creates him not becoming the Jared Goff that's more of a game manager, that's more of a guy that's going to be in control, more of a guy who doesn't want to do foolish stuff.
Yeah.
And that they wouldn't turn the ball over as much. They would have scored a few more points, and they would have prevented the Commanders from scoring.
Yeah.
points.
What do you think? You know, he this player I'm about to mention performed, but what do you think Tarek Skubal was thinking going into Game 5? Like, we're not scoring any runs. I have to strike out 27 hitters. He had a great game for
I'm
the
not coming
90.
I'm not coming out for the seventh inning.
The 98, 99 pitches that he pitched great. But it's that mentality going into the game. You're right. I agree with you. We'll never know how much that would affect Jared Goff in that game because he didn't play well. He threw interceptions, and sort of the rest is history. But knowing you have no defense, no Kevin Zeitler on offense, you got to score points fast. We might have another shootout again today with Baker and this Tampa Bay Bucs offense coming to town.
We're not going to have a shootout today.
We're not?
They're playing Monday.
Oh, you got me there.
Yes, I do. And
Monday.
In fact, my nephew's having a graduation party today.
Monday Night Football.
And then they told me about it like in August. There's a graduation party on Sunday, October 19th at 1 o'clock.
You're like, what?
And I said, I won't be there. And they're like, well, why not? I said, because the Lions are playing.
Yeah.
And then I found out, no, the Lions are playing Monday night. So
now, did they know that when they planned that graduation?
They did.
Oh, okay. So
they did. That's why they planned it.
Smart, savvy, because in the fall you can't schedule weddings, events, graduations on Saturdays or Sundays in the fall. Just avoid it all.
Correct.
Especially if Michigan State are playing. I'll give Michigan State a bone. Central. Did Central win yesterday?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
I was in Ann Arbor yesterday. Got to see Brandon Graham.
Yes.
Get announced on field. Got tickets courtesy of Value Chat member Mike G. Kindly gave me some tickets. It was a good time. They won. They beat Washington. But all it did was get me more excited for this Monday Night Football game. I haven't been to a game in Ann Arbor in a long time. Seeing football live, it's different. But you don't think it's going to be a shootout tonight because they're not playing. They play tomorrow. Is it going to be a shootout tomorrow? Even without Mike Evans, Ibuka.
But you can still score. All you need is healthy people out there.
Yeah.
So even your backups can score on the Lions' defense.
Yeah.
So I think every Lion game, until they get themselves back together, health-wise, it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
Now, when you start bringing these guys back and they're in decent shape, we're going to start seeing some more Lion blowouts.
You think so?
And we're going to see some mollywops.
That schedule that we talked about, I know we still got the Giants.
Not as daunting as it was. Right?
It's not. They got the Giants in the future. You got some what should be gimmies, even though you got to hold yourself back from making that statement too often in the NFL.
Although
yes,
the Giants will look viewed as a gimme. I don't think the Giants are a gimme. It's a you should beat them, but it's not a gimme.
Yeah. Are there any gimmies in the NFL?
Yeah, the first game with the Chicago Bears was a gimme.
Yeah, the Packers probably had a gimme against the Lions.
Have been a gimme.
They have fired Callahan already.
Yep. Jacksonville has been a gimme.
I thought the Bengals were a gimme, and actually they've surprised some people. I don't believe in them at all.
They may not be a gimme, but
yeah. Cincinnati before getting Joe Flacco was a gimme. It was a weird week, Terry. Like, we're getting ready. Lions are 4-2. Bucs are 5-1. I feel like this should be more exciting. This should be like we should have been talking about this matchup all week, but it was non-football things. It was the Jared Goff play. It was the Brian Branch suspension. Jack Campbell. They highlighted Jack Campbell, the NFL did, on how not to punch the ball out of a ball carrier instead of other players around the league who have made similar issues. I don't know. It seems to me like the NFL is making the Lions the villain, or at least trying to. My theory is, you remember we talked last year, really the year before, the Lions might be the new America's team.
They were America's team last year. But, sweatshirts they wear at the podium sometimes?
What?
Villain.
Yeah.
You don't want to be liked all the time in the NFL. You want to be a villain. You want to be someone that people don't want to face. Mm-hmm. People who think you're an ass.
Embrace the bad guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's a violent league. So you don't want to be the cute, cuddly guys that come in. Oh, here comes the Lions. Hey, just get them on the cheek. We love you and blah blah. You don't want that.
No, I get that.
Look at you, soft.
But doesn't it feel like they're being forced into this role of a dirty team? Like that's what I take from the shit about Brian Branch that NFL Films Louis Riddick put out. Honestly, it reminds me of Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams putting in a loss in their mic'd up series online, putting Kirby Joseph on blast. Matthew Stafford running up to him and saying, "You're a dirty player. I've seen it on film. We all know it." Like, that stuff's not necessary. And if I'm not mistaken, I think when Louis Riddick fake apologized about it, no. This was DJ Reader's quote. Did you hear DJ Reader talk about the NFL?
No, but I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, he talked about not being able to trust the Shield. Like, they don't have our back. Like, he is blown away that the NFL Films would put that piece out on Brian Branch, which clearly looked like a hit piece. He was thrown off that a former player in Louis Riddick put that out. He doesn't believe that they can trust the Shield. And he said on that video, he said, "I just thought it was insane and just kind of classless from that game." Then he goes on. This isn't the headline, but this is what I pulled out. It says, "There were so many other things you could have gone with. You could have gone on a Chiefs highlight and released that. You could have just shown the highlights, shown the hits, but they decided to clip a section of this that paints Brian Branch as a bad player, as a dirty player, and as a player who just can't keep his head on straight." I don't buy that. Brian Branch is one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet. Has he made some mistakes? Yes. Has he got to control some of his antics? Yes. But when they go on in this film, and he talks about he got burned by Kelsey's basketball move, like you said, got showed up by Mahomes, as on the clip they're showing Patrick Mahomes toss the ball at his feet, wipe his shirt off, taunt him with his biceps.
That's taunting.
Yes, taunting.
Yeah,
But you
talking
could have
shit.
turned that around if you were NFL Films and said, "Look at Patrick Mahomes being childish. Look
Yes.
at Patrick Mahomes taunting."
Yeah.
You could have, reversed that, but you chose not to.
Yeah, you could have. He got juked by Xavier Worthy. And the last line, he took a shot from Juju Smith-Schuster, the turning point that led to Branch's boiling point and a one-game suspension. He took a shot from Juju Smith-Schuster. How about a cheap shot?
They could have added that word.
Yeah, put
But
cheap
that
in
was a
front of
cheap
there.
shot.
You can massage anything to fit your narrative.
And that's what they did.
So, in other words, if you were anti-Kansas City, you could have just shown those clips and said, Patrick Mahomes taunting, Smith-Schuster with a dirty hit, illegal hit.
Illegal. Should have been flagged. Should have,
Right.
if the NFL wants to get involved, maybe call down and call that play. Call that flag.
Right.
Sorry.
I didn't hear anything about a phone call from then.
No. But when Jared Goff and they do this trick play illegally, it's a minute 15 before they get a call. So my problem isn't that all this stuff is happening. Like, it sucks, and to me, shit happens in this world, in life. But it's how you deal with it. It's your integrity. And the NFL continues to show, at least us here in Detroit, that they have none of it. That Skipper reporting, do you remember? I remember his name, Brad Allen, the referee. He came out after the game and said, and just continued to lie to us. Said this didn't happen and this did happen. They're
Even though
doing
we
it
saw it
again.
happen.
They're doing it again. Just admit the truth. I don't care. If it was the right call, it's against the rules, and there's a much bigger conversation about having the NFL involved throughout the game. But if it's the right call, I can live with that. But it's how they did it.
Yeah,
and then
true.
tried to cover it up.
I don't think the NFL should have. They shouldn't be trying to limit the lines. They shouldn't be doing things that hold the Lions down because the NFL and the networks love the Lions. So when they're on TV, they get high ratings. It's excitement. People get all cheered up, and they all get swelled up, and they want to see this team play.
Yeah.
So,
but what level is that? They want all this, but what level is Taylor Swift on, and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce? They're higher. So they might want all this out of the Lions, but when it comes to Lions versus Chiefs, they're going to go Chiefs all day long.
So do we see Tampa Bay getting screwed on Monday night against the Lions by the officials?
If I'm the NFL, if I'm the officials, I'm praying to God that this is the best officiated game of the year, that there's no controversy, that it's just a good football game between two MVP quarterbacks, two quarterbacks that have been thrown away by previous teams. They want no controversy, none of it. But the Lions are wearing all blacks.
I'm sure that the NFL will have a meeting with the officials and just say, let's make sure this thing is clean. Let's make sure this thing is right.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the Lions getting left out of the playoffs either.
No.
The Kansas City thing, I still believe is the NFL didn't make them win, but they wanted to make sure that they were in a position to win. They wanted to make sure that no rules went against Kansas City, because you want, when the playoffs begin, you want those shots of Taylor Swift. You want Kelce out there catching passes. You want, little
Swifties
gremlin
watching. You want 14-year-old girls watching football on Sunday and Monday, and Thursday and Wednesday and Friday and Tuesday. Every day of the week there's football this year.
So I get it. Kansas City is more of a draw than the Lions, and
they were 2-4.
They were 2-4. That was the thing. If Kansas City was 4-2, we wouldn't have had this shit happen.
No, but
if they go 4-3, well, that just happened.
Oh, look, Chiefs get to stay in the mix at 3-3, one game behind the Chargers and the Broncos. Lions move to 4-2, still, despite technically being in second place in the division, they're still good. Like, it was best case scenario for the NFL.
They're still in great shape.
Yeah, best case scenario. I'm with you. They shouldn't be going against the Lions. They should be propping up guys like Brian Branches, one of the best young defensive players in the league. But they continue to want to paint him the villain. And you know what? Go ahead and make Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Dane Camp, make this Lions team the villain and see what happens.
All right.
Good
I'm going to be bad for a second.
Better.
Good luck.
I'm going to be bad. I'm going to try to get under Broder's skin.
Oh, man.
A little bit.
Here you go.
If you had an MVP vote today, would you give it, and you can only give it to one or two players, would you give it to Baker Mayfield or Jared Goff?
Yeah, I'd give it to Baker Mayfield.
Okay, all right.
I respect Baker. I think Jared Goff's still in that top 5, but Baker's been pretty special this year. He's not, now his completion percentage isn't what Jared Goff's is, but you see how he responds in the biggest moments of the game. You see how more importantly, his team responds to him. They have talent on Tampa Bay. I've been talking about that team as one that the Lions need to worry about, that the league, the NFC needs to worry about for a while. They have talent, but that talent only goes so far if your quarterback can't take them there. And there's something about Baker and his moxie and his swagger I appreciate. I feel like if Dan Campbell could pick any one other quarterback in the NFL to lead his team, it would be Baker. But at this point, MVP right now, Baker Mayfield. Between those two, I think Josh Allen still has a say in all this.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I know you just love Jared Goff.
I do.
You get mad when I come in with little rankings, and Jared Goff is ranked 14th.
Yeah, well, that's
15th.
stupid.
It is stupid.
That's stupid. He's a better quarterback than 14. I think he's a better Lion than Matthew Stafford. I think Stafford is a Hall of Famer now. Jared Goff still needs to win one. There's nuance to it all. But if you can't be honest and you know, take a step back from my bias towards Jared Goff, I don't belong on this mic if I can't admit that.
And I'd have to kick you off.
Yeah, you would. Dude, you're an idiot. You're a legend. Only you could do that. You can pick You have to pick your litter who you can work with, T-Foss. I can't be lying up here.
I have no clout around her, but that's okay. I don't need it.
You have clout right over here. I know that man respects you and what you've done.
Beautiful.
It's definitely Baker. And I'm excited to see this matchup because they do it in two different ways. It looks differently. I got to shout out one of my favorite media personalities, really good guy, Brad Galley.
I saw young Bradley Friday night.
Oh, did you? At the high school game?
Howell and Brighton.
Was he covering it or you just run into him enjoying?
No. He was covering it.
Okay.
Because that was their high school game of the week.
That's right. So he was out there covering it. He was on 20 Men in the Huddle with Tim Twentyman of the Detroit Lions, and he made this statement talking about Jared Goff, and people are just getting bored at, how consistent he is. It's boring, but he says if you get bored by excellence, you just don't get it. Like Jared Goff is taking his game to another level. It might not look that way game in and game out. There's been some rough patches this year. But what he's doing with the ball right now, how he's been able to control that offense, it's really special. It's fun to watch. And like you said, if you get bored with excellence, you don't get it. Is that what's holding Jared Goff back? That lack of flair that we talked about last week?
Yeah, that is. It's the lack of flair and the fact that he explodes on the bad side or the negative side every so often. He'll have a 3 or 4 interception game. It just comes out of nowhere. You can't predict when it's going to happen. You can't predict why it happens. But the fact is, Jared Goff, and this is an old cliche, but it's true. He takes what the defense gives him. Yeah.
Finds the right matchup. Gets 3, 4, 7, 8 yards, moves on.
Now, we haven't seen too much of J-Mo the last few games.
No.
You're going to Monday.
You think so?
You know why? Taylor Decker, the guy that people here don't like. He's a steady player. He keeps the pass rush off of Jared Goff for the most part, and he gives Jared Goff time to find J-Mo. I think they're going to go up top a couple times because Taylor Decker is back, and maybe even Lion fans might even start to like the guy.
I know. After what he's been through the ringer here in Detroit, and he's still questioned by a lot of Lions fans. Is he officially okay? So they moved him to questionable, so he's trending in the right direction. Not officially out yet. I do think it makes a difference.
If he's questionable, he's going to play.
He definitely wants to play. Maybe with a. Actually, I'll ask you this as a question, Terry. If you were a coach, are you, because there's a bye week next week, are you playing Taylor Decker Monday because he gets a week to recover? Or are you taking advantage of your 4-2 record, it being early in the season, sitting him now so he's got 3 full weeks off?
I want to win the Monday game. And I think I have a better shot at winning that game with Taylor Decker in there.
Yeah.
So, you know what? He can rest next week. He can go to the Bahamas. He can go to Hawaii. He can do whatever he wants to do. I'll even give him an extra day off.
Give him the Zadarius Smith treatment.
Right. But I want him playing Monday.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I think it creates more time in the pocket for Jared Goff. Jared Goff doesn't always have to take what the defense gives him. He could take some shots at J-Mo, which enhances this offense.
It does. It does.
It makes it even more dangerous.
And their secondary is beat up too. They might get a couple of their corners back, but they're beat up. They still have Antoine Winfield Jr., or is it senior? One of the Antoine Winfields. He's back. Didn't have any turnovers forced last season, but I still view him as one of the best safeties in the league. Below Brian Branch and Kyle Hamilton of the Ravens. He's great. But you hit it on the net. Jared Goff, with a little bit more time, can pick apart any defense, even a Todd Bowles defense that is throwing 50 different schemes, 50 different types of pressure at this Lions offensive line, and Jared Goff. Having Taylor Decker in this one's huge, especially because you gotta funnel resources towards that middle of their defensive line with our O-line, because Vita Vea is a big dude. We talked about Alim McNeill coming back. They have an even bigger butt right in the middle of their defense. That's a big dude.
And I'm not going to say he's better than Alim McNeill. He probably is a little bit.
He's different.
But they're both a load.
They're a load.
And they're both coming back. And they'll probably be disruptive in this game.
Yeah. They both need one of the little cars that drives behind the trucks on the highway that says, caution, wide load. It's just making sure that no one, or they take up two different lanes.
Yeah, those aren't little cars. Those are big things. They take up more than one lane.
Yeah, and they need multiple cars to make sure traffic goes around them. That's what it's going to look like. And Vita Vea, dare I say, dominated Frank Ragnow last year. And he comes in, we have a very young interior. Having the corners, having the left and the right side shirt up with Penny and Taylor Decker would be massive. Let your resources focus on Vita Vea because this Bucs team, they don't rush the passer as good as you would think they should in a Todd Bowles defense, but they can sure clog up that middle. And what does this Lions team want to do to set up the pass, set up J-Mo, St. Brown, Laporta, get the ball on the ground with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery?
This could be propaganda, but now you're kind of hearing that the Lions may want to give more touches to David Montgomery.
Yeah.
To be that battering ram, to kind of wear them down a little bit. And it's not to say Jahmyr Gibbs has been bad. He hasn't. He's been very good.
Very good.
Why does Montgomery only get 4 carries? You're supposed to – it should be a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
Either way.
Doesn't need to be 70-30. Doesn't need to be 50-50. Skew it Jahmyr Gibbs' way.
Or whoever's hot.
Fair. The benefit of having the two different styles, like fans want to see Jahmyr Gibbs all the time because he's so fun to watch. He's explosive. He's a top 3 running back in this league and can take it to the house from anywhere on the field. I can't wait till we see a 70-plus yarder from Jahmyr.
Right. And forget production. He is a joy to watch. He's entertained. This is the entertainment business. Jahmyr Gibbs with the ball under his arm is entertainment.
Yeah.
That's why you want him on the field. That's why you want to see him carrying the ball at least 60% of the time.
Yeah, especially when the NFL files its taxes as an entertainment company, similar to the WWE. And not, a sporting, not a legal sports entity. That's a conversation for another day. Gibbs makes matchups all over the field. Montgomery is very good at a lot of things, and I'm sure there are mismatches that he creates, but him being in there and getting more touches, Terry, it's less about the mismatch and more about the identity. It's more about this Lions team asserting the physicality and the force that they want to against the defense. We saw last year, it's usually early in a game. They had Montgomery start the game because they want to be the big bad boys who get off the bus, and you have the beef to show this team,
right,
hey, it's going to be a long 4 quarters.
Right.
Get
I think
ready.
sometimes the Lions get away from their identity because they can do so much. They can go to Laporta. They can go to J-Mo. They can go to St. Brown. But the fabric of this offense is running the football and pounding it down your throat and telling you, I dare you to stop this.
Yeah. In fact, that's why I read this article, and I didn't read it. I'll find it hopefully before the end of the show and give credit to the writer. I think it's a national writer who covered the Browns. That was the reason he didn't get the Browns job back in, I think it was 2018 when after his season in Miami, I believe Dan Campbell interviewed with the Browns, and apparently it was a great interview until he talked about wanting to run the football to be able to set up the pass. And their owner, their GM, whoever was running the meeting, was so focused on the narrative that this league is going all pass. We gotta double down on a passing offense. That's not Dan Campbell. That's not a former tight end in this league. No. You're right. Sometimes they've gotten away from that identity. In a game like this, in an NFC North, I'll call it a rival. Would you call it a rival?
Tampa?
No. We've seen them 4 times in the last year and a half.
I don't care. They're not a rival.
Okay. An NFC foe. They got to develop the run early.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we don't want to go backwards, Terry, but that was the thing that pissed me off about how it went down in Kansas City, the Jared Goff touchdown call taken back.
Oh, hell no.
disrespected the Chiefs on that opening drive. What was it, like 15 plays for 12 minutes?
Yeah, it was like double-digit minutes.
It was demeaning. And the momentum that they had that was just sucked out of their side of the stadium, it was real. They developed that force, that physicality, and all of a sudden it was kind of pulled out from under them. So I see them trying to get the game started again like that.
Right.
Give it to David Montgomery.
And maybe in hindsight, is it necessary to call that trick play for Jared Goff so close to the goal line?
Do you just give it to David Montgomery, hand
Right.
it off?
Because you're going for it on fourth down anyway.
That's why Dan Campbell, that's why head coaches get paid the big bucks. Like, you're looking back at it, yeah, give the ball to David Montgomery, have him try to attack. But part of what makes this Lions team magical is whenever you expect something, they're going to do the opposite. Like, you expect them to give it to David Montgomery after that drive and just try to force it down the middle, and no, they pass it to Jared Goff, who's in motion. Like that's part of the mystique and why it's hard to plan.
And here's what you don't hear about the Lions anymore. I already knew what play they're going to call because they're so predictable. We used to hear that all the time about the Lions. So predictable. We knew what they're going to do. You don't hear that anymore.
No, you have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea what they're going to do.
You just see it on fourth down and less than 8. You know they're going to go for it.
Right.
But you don't know what play.
Right.
They might run it. They might run a draw like Jared Goff's been known to call. A draw to David Montgomery on 4th and 10 against the Chargers. Freight Train J, a $2 super chat, says, I'll rather see Demo with the ball. He's too clutch. Sounds like he wants them to just hand the rock off to Montgomery.
Yeah, but I don't want Jahmyr Gibbs not to get the ball because he's so dynamic.
Yeah. He could break. He could beat anyone on that defense to the pylons if you devise the play correctly. He can run through the tackles too. I don't know, man. I think this is a good test with you. If I'm the coach, if I'm Taylor Decker, I'm doing what I can to have him play because the Bucs are 5-1. They're in the NFC. You do want the number 1 seed. You want to win the NFC North, but getting that number 1 seed is important. So go out and take it to them. Don't let the Bucs become the Lions of 2023. Like, you know how we here in Detroit knew something real was brewing with this Lions team after they beat Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau, and then had that next season where they really showed up. It was a season they would have been 14-3 if not for the Dallas game. We believed it, and we see the Lions continue to get better. I see the Bucs very similar to where the Lions were, and we don't want that to happen yet.
Don't allow them to be able to call next yet. So that's why you have to beat them. If Tampa wins this game and goes 6-1, it's going to be hard to not say this could be the next Lions team.
Yeah.
Because everybody's striving to be the Lions. Mm-hmm. From progression from where they were 2-3 years ago to where they are today.
Yeah.
They are a Super Bowl threat. They are one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the NFL. They're scary.
Yeah.
But entertaining. So you don't want Tampa to join that mix.
You don't. I think they're good. I think they're young. And we would always point to big wins. Monday Night Football wins against this team or primetime wins against that team for the Lions. If the Bucs come in to Ford Field on Monday Night Football at 7 o'clock and beat the Lions, which would be their second straight win in Ford Field in primetime, that's big for a franchise that believes in their quarterback. It seems like they believe in the direction that they're going. Now they need those big moments. Baker's providing them. A win against the Lions on Monday night would be a huge moment, a catalyst for them, I believe. One thing I just was taking a peek at the Bucs schedule to see how real some of their wins are. It seems like they always come in the fourth quarter where they're down by a touchdown or a field goal. Baker leads them. I know they lost to the Eagles. They beat the Seahawks, beat the Niners. beat the Texans and Falcons.
They
and
beat the powerful Jets by 2 points.
The Jets, yeah. So they're teetering. I think they're for real, but a real team can fall fast. A win against the Lions before they play the Saints, the Patriots, that would be huge. They're getting healthy. They're not getting healthy. Excuse me. They're beat up, but their offensive line is getting healthy. I want to say thank you to Penei Sewell because he's made me learn to appreciate the offensive line position. Like, I've watched it more, whether I can watch it during the live broadcast or I go back and see just how offensive lines play, how he plays. He's made me appreciate it. To me, the second best offensive lineman in the league is Tristan Wirfs. He's back and he's healthy. Bucky Irving, their running back, is out. Rachaad White's fine. But their offensive line, like the Lions, is part of their identity. So I cannot wait to see Wirfs versus Aiden Hutchinson today. One of the best offensive linemen versus one of the best defensive linemen, edge rushers, who, quiet or not quiet, Hutch has picked up right where he left off.
He did, and the Lions have screwed him out of 3 sacks already.
Yeah.
So how many more is he going to get?
He might have. He's going up against Wirfs and a backup right tackle again. He'll get a sack again. Will he get 2 taken away? Maybe.
But he's going to end up with 1.
He'll end up with 1.
Okay.
I think he's got
Is he going to put pressure on the quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah, and Baker Mayfield, you can't let him outside the pocket where he can roam and run.
That's
the
where he
Lions
makes his
do
magic.
not have a good history with running quarterbacks, and Baker Mayfield qualifies as that.
But
they usually beat them.
They do, but new DC Calvin Shepard, at least against the Baltimore Ravens earlier in the season, devised a defensive strategy utilizing a quarterback spy to limit and really shut down Lamar Jackson in the run game, shut down his scrambling. And it proved successful. So Baker's a different type of scrambler than Lamar, but the same has to be real. They still got to make sure that Baker doesn't get outside of the pocket where he makes things happen with his feet or with his arm on the run.
The thing about Baker Mayfield is he's tough also. He can run, but he's one of those scrappy guys that's going to run at the appropriate time. He's going to throw his body into you. He's going to be...
He's slippery.
He's slippery. He's going to be a jerk on the field. He's going to be tough to stop. But in the Lions, secondary is going to be challenged not only in the passing game, but also trying to pop him when he gets outside the pocket.
Yeah. Would you say he's got the white boy wiggle? Or is it a little different?
I think it's different with Baker Mayfield. The white boy wiggle's a little bit slow. He's got an aggressive charge to him. He can stop and go bam.
Yeah. He's got that juke on him. He scored against the Lions last year. I think maybe the game-winning touchdown where he juked, was it Jack Camp, one of the linebackers, out of his socks to get into the end zone. It's different. Then he throws on the run really well.
Bam.
This team buys into him, whether it's Agbuka and Mike Evans and Godwin, or if it's Tez Johnson and Sterling Shepard, who played with him in college. Like, this team buys in. They got a really good wide receiver coach, Brian McClendon, who has a track record of involving multiple pass catchers in a game. You rarely see a Mike Evans 10 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's 6 to Evans, 5 to Agbuka, 4 to Tate. And he does it. He coached Deebo Samuel in college. Rico Dowdle, Xavier Legette, Ladd McConkey. Stetson Bennett was his quarterback at Georgia when he was a pass game coordinator. Stetson Bennett and Baker Mayfield have some similar qualities to their game, at least Stetson in college. An not inexperienced secondary, a beat-up secondary, not your top players. They still got to watch out for these guys. These wide receivers for Tampa Bay are no joke. And if Baker gets time, he'll find them.
Yeah, Baker makes the plays like this. We got him. We got him. We got him. And then he throws the ball and says, damn. How do you make that play?
He got us.
Right. And the NFL and this is one of my problems with sports, and I keep hearing, oh, well, this is the new sports. I think at quarterback, teams give up on quarterbacks too early.
More and more these days, too.
Both quarterbacks Monday night were given up on. Both quarterbacks were told, you're not good enough. Then later on, they're told, you are good enough. Not only are you good enough, but you're going to lead us.
You're actually what we need.
Right. So people give up on quarterbacks instead of coaching them up. And I thought that was the mistake Sean McVay made with Jared Goff. He gave up on him.
Yeah.
Thus, Jared Goff lost his confidence because his coaches didn't believe in him. So he had to go somewhere else where people believed in him, and so he could build his confidence back up.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is a lot different guy than he was when he came here. Yeah. When he came here, he was kind of meek, and he's, I'm trying to make the team, and I want to help the team win, blah, blah. Now he's like walking around, he's strutting.
The swagger.
Yeah,
the confidence.
He's talking big
the
shit.
aura.
Yeah.
Of Jared Goff.
Who's saying this stuff? What are these stats? Oh, this is outside of the building. Yeah, we don't care here in Detroit.
Right.
He's bought in.
Sure.
Same thing happened to Baker.
He's bought in because people believe in him.
They believed in him. And
Baker found someone who believes in him.
right. Baker had a few different stops. The Browns gave up on him. The Rams gave up on him.
The Browns don't count.
The Panthers. He got cut by the Panthers. The Bucs are like, no, wait. We see something in you.
Right.
We need a leader. You hear MCDC, Dan Campbell, talk about Baker and Goff this week, and I'm going to read this quote, and then I want to ask you about part of it. He says, talking about the two quarterbacks, I think they're both tough, Campbell said. To me, they're both really tough, dependable, resilient guys. I think both of them have overcome a lot. I think when you watch those guys and just the nature of the way they play, like our quarterback will sit in there, he'll make throws. He had to do it the other day. He's getting crunched in the pocket and has to deliver the ball. He's not afraid of that. They both deliver in critical moments. They don't get frazzled. Where in that quote, when describing these two quarterbacks, Terry, are they talking about arm strength? Are they talking about perfect spirals? Are they talking about 40 time or elusiveness? It's the way Dan Campbell describes these quarterbacks as tough, resilient, dependable, not being afraid, not getting frazzled, handling pressure. I don't think those are tabs in any stat sheet on ESPN or NFL or PFF, but why are those overlooked as quarterback attributes?
Because it's hard to quantify that in a workout. You're not going to show your edginess in a workout. You can show how far you can throw the ball. You can show, can you throw on the run? Can you run? You're not going to show the intangibles like that during a workout. So those are the only things you pick up there. But in an actual game or games or series of games, at some point you show that you're a man or a mouse. And I think both have showed that they're men.
Yeah.
And the one word I would add to Baker Mayfield, he's edgy.
He's always been that way.
Right.
Some people couldn't handle it, but once he was allowed to be himself and people understood, like, yeah, this dude is edgy, but he's a great teammate. He's a good football player. Like, he's not getting in trouble anymore. Like, his antics aren't distractions anymore. It's swagger, edginess. And that brings teams together. That unifies teams when your leader, who has been through what he's been through, is now coming out on top, front runner to win MVP, and plays like this. This is why teams need to watch out for the Bucs, because all they need is a little bit of that edginess.
Unless they get squashed on Monday and lose their confidence and lose that swagger.
That's what the Lions need to do. The Lions can't let them become the team that the Lions have become. That's why this game's so important. I don't think it's going to decide the playoffs or this and that, but it's an important game for the Lions team and the NFC over these next 3, 4, 5 years. The Bucs have a chance to be legit. Great offensive line, really good defensive line in front seven.
Bad division.
And youth everywhere to replace Hall of Famers like Mike Evans when he moves on. They already drafted their number one. Tez Johnson is what their number 6 or 7 wide receiver. He's really good. 7th round pick.
Yep.
They're doing it the right way. Baker's also had 4 different coordinators in the last 4 years. So there's something brewing.
Mm-hmm.
There's something brewing. So that's why the Lions need to make sure that they don't give that team that confidence.
True that.
Tomorrow night, Monday night.
You'll get it straight. It's not Sunday night or Sunday afternoon.
It's Monday night.
But I thought
in fact, is that 7? How cool is that?
Yeah, that's cool. But once again, I don't know why, but I do not like doubleheaders on Monday night.
Me neither.
What time's the other game start? 10?
The doubleheader is it's the worst. 7 o'clock game and a 10 o'clock game?
Well, they're trying to appease the West Coast.
Right, but I'm not watching that 10 o'clock game.
No, but if the Lions game starts at 7, it means I may actually watch the end of the game.
Exactly.
Because it starts at 8:15, like the fourth quarter. I'm like,
it's a long day. We work here.
That's right.
We got jobs. We got to wake up. We don't have to wake up before or the morning show with Sean Belegian now, like we used to, Terry. But hey, I'll take a 7 o'clock game any day of the week. I know this isn't about the Lions, but I hate all the doubleheaders. I don't like that there's multiple games on Monday nights or there were some on Thursday nights. To me, Terry, the NFL was so exciting to me because you had to wait for it. You had to wait until Sunday. And then you had your one game on Monday night. Like, less is better. I don't want football every night. I do, but I don't. I want to wait till Sunday. I want that to build up. And then I want one Monday night football game that the whole country is watching. Are there any other matchups, any other things you're looking for with this game? Any other anything else you want to say about the NFL and the Shield and how they've handled the Lions over the last week as we start to wind down the last 15 minutes of this show?
Well, and I'm taking a big risk by saying this, I don't think we're going to see any more shenanigans with the Lions, because I do believe in their heart of hearts the Lions are good for the NFL. The NFL knows that they're good for the Lions, but they can't trump what Kansas City can produce with Taylor Swift and Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes. They can't trump the possibility of knocking Kansas City out of the playoff hunt. So I think that was an aberration, what we saw last week. Lions would get fair calls for the most part. There'll be some calls here where you're like, what are you doing? That's because we make mistakes as human beings.
Yeah, and refs, they haven't been all that great this week anyway.
Right.
This year anyway.
Right. And then you have to throw in injuries, which I thought the law of averages said the Lions won't have as many injuries this year as they did last year. And even though they have a lot of injuries, they won't have as many. But there's a trend in the NFL that everybody's getting nicked.
Yeah.
Worse than ever before.
Yeah. How do you stand, or where do you stand with all of this going on and how it affects gambling, sports gambling, the sports books, or people betting? Was it someone, and I wouldn't recommend this bet, but someone put $5,000 on Jared Goff to score the first touchdown of that Chiefs game. And I think he would have been like $450,000 he won. Minute 15 later, NFL calls and he's not winning that money anymore. So whether it's $5,000 or people that put $10 on a game or a player to do something and something sketchy happens.
Yeah, I mean, gambling plays a role in stuff. I mean, you look at point spreads. If somebody is a 7.5 point favorite, they're either going to lose by 8 or 6. It's right there.
Yeah.
So Vegas knows what's going on there, and I don't think they make calls or plays to influence the point spread because you probably don't know what it is when you're locked into a game.
Right. They're not. Right. They're not. There's nothing they can do to decide a game with the calls and antics, but you can affect a game. And you can make calls or changes that affect certain players or certain props that people are putting their money on.
Personally, I don't think about gambling when I watch an NFL game.
Neither do I.
I just watch the game.
I think we're in the minority. Like
We are in the minority.
It's everywhere on the screen, but we just don't think of it. I'm not a gambler. I did put $50 on the Lions to win the NFC North after they lost to the Packers. As a fine young man, Neil Rule, recommended. I still have a cash out opportunity of like 115.
Maybe Neil Rule will cash you out.
Maybe he will. They don't have a pregame show today, right? They're doing it tomorrow.
I don't know.
I believe it's tomorrow.
Okay, then it's tomorrow.
So we'll go with that. We've got a lot of coverage. We have shows all day long, every day for Woodward Sports. We're here on a Sunday. It's a rainy Sunday here in Detroit. It's weird not preparing for a game today. We got to wait, what?
Well, actually, it's not because, they play on Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night. Lions are all over the place.
They are. Like, we don't have a game today. I don't know. I don't like waiting for the Monday Night Football games, but I'm so excited. They're wearing all blacks.
All right, it's exciting.
So it's going to be a funeral. So I
Whose
think
funeral, though?
hopefully the Bucs.
Okay.
Hopefully Baker Mayfield and the Bucs.
Now, when the Lions don't play on 1 o'clock on Sunday or 3:30 or 4 on Sunday, does that affect how you run your day?
Yes. Yeah. Like last week they played Sunday night. I used the day during Sunday, the day, to get so much stuff done. Normally I would go home from this, make breakfast, and kind of get the house and the lady and dogs in order and prepare for the game. Now you get everything done, take a pregame nap sometime in that second slate of games, and get ready for a Sunday night football game. Haven't been to the apple orchard yet. Haven't been to the cider mill. It's not the day to do it today, but that's happening soon.
Not a good day.
It's got to be happening soon.
But the cider mill, they do have wineries and little beer gardens. So
They
you can
do.
be inside, so that'd be good.
Do you have-
you know how Lions not playing on Sunday affects me?
What do you do?
I don't have an excuse to tell the wife, no, I'm not. I can't do that, because when you
Good point.
When she says, "Hey, honey, can you do something?" I'm like, Lions, NFL, and then she backs down.
Yeah, she gone.
She gone, and you never see her, which is good. But if you tell her, "Oh, I can't do this because college football or baseball," she says, "Oh, you better get your ass in there. You got to do that."
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you say Lions and NFL, she backs down.
It's a globally recognized phrase in
Right.
households around the globe.
Right.
NFL. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What would you like, buffalo or barbecue Parmesan wings on your wings?
Barbecue Parmesan. I never heard some stuff like that.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings has all the flavors these days.
The fort.
Both
Half and
streams.
halves.
We got a spammer in the chat. All right, T-Floss. It's prediction time. Tampa Bay Bucs are coming into town. MVP favorite Baker Mayfield at 5-1. Tell me about this game.
Baker Mayfield's gonna have a big game, but so is Alim McNeill, and because Alim McNeill will be back, I think that's gonna help Aiden Hutchinson even more. The Lions must contain Baker Mayfield from getting outside the pocket. I think he's still gonna make some plays. He's still gonna be dangerous. It's still gonna be scary right up until the last moment. But some way, somehow, the Lions will pull this thing out. I'm not going to go into the 40s, but I am going to go 38,
Okay.
34, Detroit Lions defeating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So that's a shootout. 38-34, Lions over Bucs.
As I said, there's going to be a shootout every Lions game until they get healthy again.
Yes. All right, 38-34. Willie, we're not going to have a camera on you, so
That's fine.
Be concise. No, what's your prediction?
Well, this is going to be a tight game.
Tight game.
This is going to be a tight game because both of them, tough in the NFC.
Yeah.
I gotta give a 31-28.
31-28.
Tight. That's not gonna be a tight.
Lions win.
Game. Yeah.
The Lions holding Tampa Bay to 28 points is like a shutout for them.
That's true. They've been giving up, 25 points a game?
The defense is on point.
There have been parts of their defense that have been impressive, but they have given up some points. This offense has some playmakers. I don't know if I'm going to go that high. I'm thinking it's a 34-24 victory for the Lions. I think they run the ball. They get back to that. What they were trying to do that first drive against Kansas City. That's what they're going to do again.
Well, they did it.
They did it.
They just screwed up at the end.
They just couldn't put it in. And the Bucs red zone defense is a weakness of theirs. The Lions haven't been as sharp as they have in years past, but they still have an advantage there. They need to score touchdowns in this game, a field goal from Jake Bates, and they leave Monday night healthy and victorious. 34-24. Detroit Lions, Terry.
All right, beautiful.
And that's it.
Okay.
All right, tell the wifey I say hey.
I'll do that.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy your Sunday without the
Happy
Lions.
anniversary, Mr. Foster.
No Lions, which means I'm going to the
Foster?
engagement party.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
other words, if the Lions were playing at 1, I said, I'm not showing up.
I'm not going. Right. Chat, thank you so much for being with us here this morning. If you could, hit the like button while you're watching before you leave. Share it, whatever you can.
We're
leave
trying
it.
to get to that 100,000.
We're close. We are at 93,000 right now. We got to get there by
93,000 2 weeks ago.
93.1, so there's an extra
All right.
10,000. Quick shout out, I didn't read these. Part of the prediction, Freight Train J. If we allow 100 plus rush yards, we lose. Lions got to stop the run, stop Rashad White, stop Baker Mayfield, and they will win. And then lastly, Matthew Kruger. The ways of 20 years ago was a much better NFL product, in his opinion. So,
I'd
we'll
love
see.
to know why.
Matthew Kruger, join us next Sunday. We have a bye week, but I'm pretty sure we will be here. To be determined. Matthew Kruger, thanks for your comment. Chat, thank you for your comments. We'll see you next Sunday. Terry, take us out. Say goodbye, whatever you do.
All right, everybody. Enjoy the game Monday, not today. And it's going to be a tight one. I just think the Lions defense is in shambles again.
It is.
So they're going to have to win shootouts. It's going to be nerve-wracking. Just take your little nitroglycerin pills or whatever you take.
Your Mad Packs.
Right.
Yeah. You're buzzing.
Or buzzing, man. I'm telling you, man. Stuff
All right.
is cool. So, all right.
While you stay by, I'm going to go shut down the
All right, we will see you next week. Me and Matthew Broder III. Take it easy. Be good.